And hello, everybody. It is Tom Chenault, and it is a great day. Hours of preparation. I've been in the studio for hours just trying to get ready for these three guys because they are going to be very difficult to keep track of, hold down, because I don't know that I know three greater human beings on the planet with so much charisma, so much vim and vigor, yet so much experience and knowledge. And the first guy I want to introduce is my buddy Ron Henley. He is like, I don't even know when he was born. It had to be sometime in the 1800s. He knows more about this profession than literally anybody on the planet. The only thing I don't love about him is he doesn't laugh at his own jokes like my next two guys. One of them is the Robert Hollis, who is nuttier than a fruitcake. And you're so busy laughing at him laughing at his own jokes that you almost miss the absolute gold. And the fourth guy is the one and only president of the ANMP, Garrett McGrath, who is, so he laid an egg one time. I have to tell this story to start the deal. So Garrett just thinks he's hilarious. And if you don't think so, he tells the joke and then he goes into hysterics and laughs so hard that you're forced to laugh. So Adrian was in college down in San Antonio. He teased his friends, all his tightly wound friends up for the meeting, and they show up and Garrett is laughing uproariously and they are looking at him like he is Jack Nicholson from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It had to be one of the toughest hours of all time for Garrett. Wrong crowd, but I'm telling you what, these guys have been legends in network marketing for a long time, and we, the Legacy Leadership Show, sponsored by Now.Site, are proud to have them aboard. Garrett, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I heard that Joe Rogan is shaking in his boots when he saw the preparation that you've done today. The #1 podcast spot in the world. We're going, it's Tom Chenault show, not and Adrian Chenault. Joe Rogan's out.
He's done. We actually hit the top 100 download at Apple list, which was a number. And I went to ask them about that. And the guy goes, it has nothing to do with your show. You've just been on so long before people were even doing this shit that's why we were popular. So even that balloon got inflated. But it was good for about a half a second. Mark Victor Hansen on here watching, really cool. Sylvia McGrath, we've got the gang, and it is going to get bigger and bigger. We've got a cheerleader out there that is beyond measure named Doug Stair, and he is out there just beating the drum and telling people to get on here. I'm forever indebted to him, and he's got his own place in network marketing lore. Robert Hollis, what's going on with you, buddy?
Everything. Someone asked me the other day, what's up? And I said, my income.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm so blessed. To be able to spend some time with you guys. You guys are just incredible human doings. And anytime I spend around you guys, it just makes me feel like a better person.
Well, you are a great person already. I love your faith. I love your absolute commitment to this profession. And it was on our show when I interviewed you that you said we needed to bring in the one and only Ron Henley, the guitar playing coolest guy on earth, in every book that was written on Slate about network marketing. Hello, Ron Henley. How are you?
Well, like I told Adrian, if I was doing any better, I'd be you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, be careful what you wish for.
Amen for that.
It's a great time around here. Just got done with a Christmas parade, and it just melts your heart when the little kids yell, Santa, Santa. Hey, I've got the goods, so why not use it, right?
Right.
Oh, man, I may call you. If you're all dressed up at Christmas, I may FaceTime you in with Adrian's kids and the baby, because that would be fantastic. Because
you told me about that. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, those kids still believe in Santa Claus. After a guy who's a network marketer, I can't think of his name. Adrian will tell us what it is here in a second. His name's Corky Kinter, and he is full-time on TikTok and Instagram, just being Santa Claus. So those of you out there.
Corky is one of my very, very dear friends.
No.
Yeah, he's been
Nice.
in my organization for years, and I remember the day that
That might be organizations.
well, yeah. but yeah, and one day I was doing a mentoring call with him, and he was just like, I just don't know what to do. And I said, well, what would you love to do 24 hours a day? And he said, honestly, I'd love to be Santa. And I go, great. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, let's get you on TikTok and YouTube, and you just be, hey, this is what Santa does when he's not doing what he's supposed to do, delivering presents. And so
I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, he's got like 3. It's Santa Corky, and yeah, I think he's got like over 2.5 million followers now.
Whoa!
Yeah, my son and I just went over 160 million views, so we're clicking along. We're doing pretty good.
Holy mackerel!
But hey, I just want you guys to know that, you know, if people are telling you to use social media to get to the world, don't do it. Just stay old school. I'll take care. I'll take care of all
that. So it's working.
There's still a lot of people that tell me, I don't want to do YouTube. And I go, that's a great idea. Let me get it.
160 million views, and you are just being yourself. You're not trying to be Ron Henley. You're not trying to be Garrett. You're not trying to be me or anybody else. You're just being your authentic Robert Hollis, and 160 million people have taken the bait. Right?
The more you proclaim your uniqueness because God made you that way.
Yep.
And then be authentic and stop being like everybody else. We used to have a saying in network marketing, right? If you start yourself on fire, everybody will come watch you burn.
Yeah. Look at that. Yeah, it's a fact.
And so now this day with digital, it's like, listen, just be you and make sure you post content all the time.
No doubt about it. So
they'll
post what you've always done with regularity, and we all win. Ron Henley, as you watch this thing evolve over years and years and years, don't you just see it coming back to the same exact spot, which is sitting down with people, getting to know them, telling them a story, and getting them to look at what you're doing, but buying you, not it, correct?
Yes. Everything comes full circle. So many people were saying because of this new digital age that it'll never come back around. It always comes back around. You always get out of control, and then you always have to go back to the basics. And all people are doing is getting back to the basics, and it's paying off big time.
So why have you dedicated your life to what you're doing, and what's going on with that? I mean, how far back do you go, and what kind of historian do you believe you are, and what is your end goal at making this all happen?
Well, gosh, I've got stuff in the museum here that you can see behind me from the beginnings of the industry. Personally, I got started when I was 5 years old. That's people say, well, I didn't know you could sign up that young, but my dad started a business. Zig Ziglar was the company trainer. It was called Automotive Performance Concepts out of Dallas, Texas. And they sold an eco fuel booster for your car. My dad and grandpa were car nuts, so this fit right into their life without any kind of changes. He started playing the Zig Ziglar records all over the house. I helped with the meetings. I would take coats, serve coffee, put out chairs, set the room up, anything a little 5-year-old kid could do. And then I would sit in the back and watch these people and listen to their stories. And there was one man, I'll never forget, Tom Anderson. He was on the verge of, he was at the end. He was at the very end. And a friend drug him to this meeting that my dad and grandpa were having. And he saw the light. He saw a way out and completely turned his life around. I'll never forget that man crying at the front of the room with no hope. And after the meeting was over, he was a changed man. And he went on to do great things and help a lot of other people. So that's how I got my start at 5 years old in 1968. And I've been around watching it. You know, I met Jim Rohn came into my life July 15th, 1978. And he just, everything I learned from Zig, Jim just kind of turbocharged it and put his own slant on it. And once I found out that Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar used to be in the same company and got their start in the same company all these years ago called NutriBio, then I started looking, well, how is the rest of this other stuff connected? What are the stories? So I started talking to people, trying to find out about Jim's mentor, Earl Schoaf, who nobody knew had passed away because it had been so long. And through, I call it drilling for Earl, which is just a plain, but you know, I was trying to find Earl Schoaf. I was trying to find anything I could about him, a picture, anything. And it was hard back in those days because there wasn't the internet and all this other stuff. But making phone calls, writing letters, talking to people. Hey, I've got this stuff in my attic. I don't want it anymore. Do you want it? Yeah, send it to me. Things like that. And as we got into the modern age, I started looking on eBay and all these other auction sites and on the internet. And as more and more word got around of what I was doing with the museum, because I want to protect, I want to preserve, and I want to impart knowledge. That is the whole reason why I started the Network Marketing Historical Society, because so much of this stuff is ending up in a landfill somewhere because people don't know what to do with it. When you're a living and you've spent 50 years in this profession and you gather all this stuff, it really doesn't mean that much to your kids. You've never had to talk with them that you need to do something with this. And what I'm doing is providing a venue for people not to throw it away, to get it to where eventually I want to take all of this stuff and put it in a public museum. I'm figuring maybe near the Atlanta airport, so people can come in and visit pretty easy. Get it out of my garage. I've got a lot of stuff from decades and decades that tells the story of the people, the places, and the things that created this profession. It is just, I walk out here and look at this stuff and I'm in awe every day. And I've been around it my whole life.
That is so beautiful. Garrett McGrath.
And just to do a quick plug with Ron, if you go to my YouTube channel, which is Robert Hollis, I actually did a podcast with Ron.
Yes.
And we talked for hours about how it went all the way back, because what's really, really cool is when you hear Ron and he knows this stuff, it's like we all giggled, he was born, in the 1500s. But yeah, I can actually say when you watch that, you'll hear that because he's honestly taken the time. It'd be like if you went to something that was very, very old and there was a person that just loved walking you through the museum, and they're like, well, hey, this went to this, and to see the hierarchy, to see the genealogy of this whole industry and who came from who and who went to this company and went to this company and how big it's gotten. It's sort of neat to be able to go back to the main dude, Rich Schnackenberger, what I mean?
That's the man.
Wow.
Sorry, Tom.
No, that's not it. No, that's awesome. Garrett, how you are like real time, one of the most powerful guys in network marketing, and certainly interacting with everybody at a high level. How important is this history to keep alive, keep relevant, and keep in front of people so they know what the future looks like if we hold true?
Well, first of all, you're incredibly kind, Tom. The waters run really deep with our family, the McGrath family and the Chenault family, and we love you and appreciate you and just love Denise and your stand for love, because I think that is, the greatest of all these teaching is love. And regardless of how we look at things, and love is an action verb, which is how we relate to one another. We're not here to judge one another. I think that network marketing is one of the most redemptive professions in the world. And many of us don't have the past to succeed in other areas. Maybe we didn't have the education, maybe we didn't have the life advantages, but we have no disadvantages here as long as we lead with love and that we support other people. I do believe that when you forget where you've come from, you're on your way back. Yeah. And I think that we have to stop wanting what we don't want. And what I mean by that is this: stop wanting all the automation. Because if we can completely automate our profession, why would they pay us or need us?
Right.
The fact is, you can't. That leadership is a full contact sport, and everything rises and falls with leadership. It's about an example, and it's about showing up. And it's not about say and sell. This is a business of show and tell. And that's what works in the coffee shop, is what works. People can feel it. And I will say, with AI is great at explaining stuff. AI is creating a lot of noise in the internet, and it's creating a trust gap. What AI is not good at is letting people experience stuff. What AI doesn't have is taste, and what AI doesn't have is heart. And that's what makes the difference. So why would we not have that show up? So I love the fact that Robert Hollis, with Josh Schwagel, can reinvent himself, build something incredibly fast, and have the success that he's had, just in the month of November that's gone in 2 weeks. And then in December, Ron, I love the fact that you're preserving the past, because there's so many great lessons. And I'll leave this with Tom. Tom and I worked together with Doug Ridley and with Bob Crisp. And I remember Bob Crisp gave me a great piece of advice. He said, I think it was eBay, and I don't remember exactly, but he said there were some great audio cassettes and leadership trainings that were getting lost. I went on eBay, and I must had about 1,000 cassettes, because you could buy them at hardly any money at all.
Right.
And I remember one of them was like, pigs don't know they stink.
Wow. I remember that.
Yeah, but there were such great lessons. And Tom, I do see a return to being real with people. And you had that in your coffee shop interview, is teaching someone how to sit down, be a good human, connect with other people. You need to be more interested in other people than try to be interesting. You need to talk more to them, less presentation, more conversation, and more connection. So, yeah.
Amen.
So I believe that big time.
Well said.
Thank you. And you're 100% right. And I love you and Sylvia and Philip and Liam.
Well, after Garrett knocked that out of the park, I guess we're done.
Yeah, you guys can go home now. It's Hollis. This is really relevant stuff right now inside of where Robert is, because Garrett brought it up, that Robert is literally out starting another organization at another company, and he didn't even blink. All he did was say, guess what? Follow me here. And he's the leader that people didn't say, what is it? They just said, we're going. And Garrett and I were in that situation one time on January the 18th of 2010. And Garrett calls me on the phone. I go, what's up? And he goes, we're out of business. I go, what? He goes, we are out of business. I said, well, you're kidding me. He goes, no. I go, how come? I didn't know that. He goes, I think I'm more important than you. I go, no. Anyway, so
this is a retelling of a story.
I am
living inside the imagination of Tom.
Shut up for a second. We are literally on the way to the meeting, and my wife goes, what are we going to talk about? I go, I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. I stood on the stage, and I said, guess what? We're out of business, but we're going somewhere. Everybody hang tight, because it will be the best place we could possibly take you, no matter what. And we had that because of the leadership and the relationships. They waited for us, and it's 100% true, right? It's what happened, right, Garrett?
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. People follow people.
Yeah.
And people buy into people. And, by your fruits, shall you be known. And I think that none of us can always make the right decision, but we can make eventually every decision right.
Yeah.
And if that's where you come from, I believe you can make a difference. And the last thing I'll say is this. I love Jim Rohn. I still remember to this day, the first time I heard it, when he talks about for things to change, you have to change. That must be one of these most popular, most successful. And I think all of us have gone, hey, you know what? We have to change. The world, network marketing is not changing. Network marketing has changed.
Right.
And some people are just catching up with it. Some people are reacting to it, and some people are proactively responding to it. And I love the fact that We're all doing our best here to bring as much value as we possibly can and make a difference and be relevant. But at the end of the day, I love what Tom has always said, that sometimes there's too much broadcasting and not enough receiving. We want to be out there and say, how can we serve other people? And that's why I love being on here with Ron, with you, Robert, with you, with Tom, with Adrian, who reached out today. We're blessed to be in a profession, for the most part, where people just love on one another, support one another. And I'm very optimistic and happy for 2026 in the future.
Yeah. And the club I can't get into is the club with, take a look at all the World Ventures hot shots down in Florida. You got Roberti, you got Jeff Weisberg down there flexing. You got all those guys, and they love Larry Thompson. They love Taylor Thompson, and they love Ron Henley. And watching you guys stay thick as thieves for all these years. And then I think about my relationships that are exactly the same way. And I just bless this business because none of us has shot each other. We've just loved each other and been with each other and supported each other when the chips were down because we stayed close enough to be that kind of friends. Right, Ron? That's exactly right. That's exactly right. The relationships I've made in this business over the past decades, it's too many to count, but it's solid. People think that they're only your friend because you're in the company with them. You only sell the products together. But I'm telling you what, the relationships that you build in this profession will stay with you for the rest of your life if you treat people correctly. If you be a friend as well as, you got to be a friend before you can get a friend. So if you'll treat people right, they'll stay loyal and be friends forever. So Corky Kinter's on here. Did you see that, Robert?
I see that.
The cutest thing.
I've got beard envy.
Oh, he is your twin brother of a different mother. And if you guys watch him, he is world famous as Santa on every social media platform. And I did not know the connection to Robert Hollis. I've always, because I know Corky, and he didn't exactly graduate from MIT. And I could not figure out how on earth the guy figured out all these social media platforms. And it's because you guys jumped in the foxhole together and skinned the cat. And Robert, it'll take a look at that ugly face. He couldn't grow a beard if his life depended on it. So he just, it's unbelievable, Robert. And don't you love Corky?
Yeah, I just, again, what you guys are all talking about, a theme is, just people really, truly loving people. I love what I love most about the right people is it's like, I call it the spiritual internet. It's like the Wi-Fi, right? And no one really knows what faith is, but it's the ability of knowing that it's out there. You got to get connected to it. And so I just recently did, I decided to get a little courageous and brave since, Charlie Kirk. And I just said, I'm going to start doing meetings on Sunday, and I'm just going to give all the glory to God. And a lot of people were like, I don't quite understand how you're going to do this. And Garrett, we talked about love. And I said, don't you guys find it very interesting that everyone that watches this live or recorded, if I asked you to write a description of love, every one of us would be unique as our DNA. There's no way that you would be able to write the definition the same as everyone else. So what does that mean? That means that if you don't figure out how much you're loved, then you can't love yourself. And when you love yourself, then everything just turns around in a heartbeat. I was telling Ron that just recently we had a grandson, Ezra, and I've always heard this. He's 5 months old, and everyone always says this, right? They say, "Oh my God, wait till you become a grandparent. Wait to become a grandparent." And it's like, just like everything, wait until you're a millionaire in network marketing. It's like you don't know until you know, right? And so I go see this incredible, grandson. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, what is emotionally happening to me right now? It was just the weirdest thing to hold my grandson Ezra and just go, what is happening to me right now? And so I just absorbed it and, took it in. And now it's funny how grandparents will always go say, we're going to go visit Ezra. well, wait a minute, your son and daughter-in-law had him. No, I'm going to visit Ezra, right? And I told Ron after I became very emotional, I needed to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom and I was just sitting there and I was just taking it all in, this unconditional love. And then God just said, that's the way I feel about you. And I'm just like, and it's like, when you know someone's on your side and there's no way you can lose, my deal is network marketing allows me to very simply do two things. Allow my creator to love me and express that love back. And now I want everyone in the world to feel that same thing. What I want for everyone in the world is the same thing that I have. And when you approach it that way, it's very difficult for people to get it and not get it, because they go, I don't know why I feel different when Garrett's talking. I don't know why I feel different when Tom's talking or Ron's talking. And it's like, do you guys understand, because of our love for God and love for people, that people feel that they're not hearing? I've had people say, I'm excited to work with you, and they don't even know what company or product I'm marketing. And so if you build that kind of relationship for people for years and years and years, I'm so blessed to have these people come over and work with me in this new company only because they want to hang around me. Well, I love them.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Tom, I want to say why this show is also important and what Ron's doing, having evidence of what's happening here. Faith is belief without evidence. And that's why faith is challenging. And I think that faith that is supported with an abundance of evidence, so people can see what is possible here. And it's so important to look at the past, look at the present, look out into the future. So the Legacy Leadership Show is playing a big role here, because you got to see one to be one. So that's one of the first things. I think this is really important. Number two is, it's not how much love that I have for Tom, or it's not how much love I have for Denise or Robert that's important. People go, of course it is. I go, no, it's not. It's how much love do they feel that I have for them.
yes. Yeah.
And that's part of the challenge today, is that people feel disconnected and unloved. They feel that a lot of the world is super transactional. It is super tribal. I will love you as long as I agree with everything that you say. And if I have an important belief and you have a disagreement or a different belief, I'm no longer going to love you. That is not love. That is not the way we're meant. That is not love. That is something else that's transactional, that's manipulative, that is, conditional. That's not love. And I know people put words around things to even separate us further, calling it like toxic empathy. The reality is love. We are our brother's keeper. It is the greatest of these things that I ask you to do, which is love your neighbor as yourself. So that is so, so important. And the last thing I'll say is this. Character is leadership in action. And if you look at the three things that grows the business, think of the word car, and think about if you can get a point from 0 to 10 for each one. C is character, A is action, and R is relationship. The challenge with social media is everybody feels like they got tons of relationships, whether it's Robert Hollis having 100 million, or whether it's me having 5 on social media. But the relationship aspect of people, the scale of it is huge. The challenge is that really real? Then the second is action. In other words, the ability to reach out and interact with someone. And with so much automation, those two numbers are very high. But the challenge is, that's what creates these pop rockets. This is what creates the disappointment. This is what creates love bombing. But in the end of the day, the number that drives the length of the situation, that drives the longevity, that drives the depth of the relationship is character. Because 10 times 10 is 100, but times 0 is 0. And in the end of the day, the number that's going to really count is character. And yes. I feel like that's the part that we need to focus on and lead with, not in a manipulative way, not in a divisive way, not in say, look how cool I am way. I think we need to be sometimes vulnerable and go, let me teach you out of my scars, not out of my open wounds. and just say, I'm not perfect there, but for the grace of God, go I. If forgiveness is available, let me be the first person on my knees and ask for it. But at the same time, let me show up. And I think our world needs more of that authentic, compassionate leadership. And that's what I love about our profession, because you know what? We're allowed to show up that way. There's no HR departments that's saying we can't. There's no past that's saying we can't. And that's the difference we can make. And that's where we go back and finish the legacy we can leave here by leading. Hey, Lisa Grossman, great to see you.
Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Gee, Merry Christmas. Who's Lisa Grossman?
Yeah. we talk about love, and look who we attract.
Well, yeah, we channeled in Corky and Lisa just by the fact that we love across all boundaries, whether it be political, whether it be religious. Speaking of Monaco Perez, talk about him a little bit, because just a great guy for our profession, a servant leader at a level you cannot believe, everybody. And the guy was going 100 miles an hour down in Texas at some ranch, had a brain aneurysm, and damn near lost it all. And he's coming back, but he still needs more prayers, right, Garrett?
Yeah, I think it was in Ryan Stewman's ranch, and he works together with Ryan. And Monaco Perez has been part of his profession for a very long time. He's very famous for what he did together with World Ventures, with all the creation there. He ran all of their events. He worked with Mark Cassetta. The two of them are, very strongly friendship together. And the A&P would not work without it. We do a convention every year. I think I've put on, I don't know how many at this stage, maybe 14, or we've done 12 in person. But Monica's done most of them. And he does it at below his cost. It costs him money to put on the A&P because we could not put it on at that price. I mean, it is incredible what he does. And I will say that I love the fact that he is a servant leader. He does want our profession, by your fruit shall you be known. In other words, I'm not going to have to listen to your words. I'm going to see your feet, how you move. He always moves towards action. Tom will tell you, he always comes around us and helps us out. And I agree with you. He wants prayers. And Tom Chenault was reached out to me because I was going on a cruise, and he goes, hey, let's get to Brian McMullen, and let's get over to Monaco Perez, something nice from the Association of Network Marketing Professionals. That's who Tom is. Tom is always thinking about, remember,
somebody else's money.
No. I know you'd like to deflect it, but think about this. It's not how much love we have for Monaco Perez or for Brian McMullen, because you could easily say they have all the friends in the world, they have all the money in the world, they don't need us to show up, even sending a gift. It's just going to be dismissed and not appreciated. That's not what Tom said. Tom said, let's send them a small gift. It's the thought that counts, the fact it shows up and it actually happens in a timely way. That's what we did do. And again, we're not perfect, but you know what? We can show up. And I think that's such an important time in today's world that we do show up and not sit on the sidelines of life. I mean,
yeah, I agree. Every one of us get down. I mean, Ron Henley, you just went through something health-wise. You're a beautiful, I don't remember what it was because I'm so shallow, but I know you did because I remember. But whatever was wrong with you, you're here right now. And I'm really happy about that, because we would have been a terrible show without you. And so we gotta keep staying together. And, I saw, speaking again of your crew down there in Florida, I saw Weisberg and Roberti playing pickleball with
John Milton.
And it was so gratifying, because here's a bunch of young guys hanging around the dinosaurs, and the dinosaurs, everybody's got something to learn. The young learn from the old, and the old learn from the young. And the only bad thing about us old guys do not like being called old. But let's face facts, we are. So I like it.
Well, I'm 62. I can't act like a kid anymore.
Yeah, no kidding.
I read stories in the Bible and in these dudes being 170 and 180, and I'm like, I'm not old.
Yeah, you're a kid.
Just getting warmed up.
But I do think we need to be careful of something. I do believe that Ron, the way that the Jim Rohns and the Zig Ziglars and the founders of New Skin and Amway and Herbalife, That is aging out of network marketing. It's literally aging out. It's been invested out. In other words, we got investments coming into companies. So no longer do we have field, I shouldn't say do no longer. No longer do we have as many field first founders who can look at Tom Chenault in the eye and go, I know how you feel. I felt the same way when that first happened to me. This is how I learned that lesson. This is how I will never forget that lesson. And this is why I know that this works over, not over 1 year, 5 years, but over decades and generations. When that ages out, that perspective is lost. And so often people have a perspective problem, not a growth problem.
Right.
In other words, they believe it should be going faster, that they should be further, and it shouldn't be hard. Well, the fact is you're right on track. If someone else could give you a different perspective and tell you that the perspective that you currently have is poisonous, in other words, you're being told you're not being respected enough and going fast enough, that it's a prison, it's keeping you trapped, as opposed to one that's powerful that says, let me share with you examples of other people who are in a similar situation than you that persisted to do what you're doing, and over time they won out, and suddenly you have another outcome. So Tom, I'm really a big stand for why we want to do that and have a Ron Henley, a Robert Hollis, the A&P, Six Figure Summits, like all the things we're doing, and why I think the Legacy Show is so important.
Yeah, and go to the A&P, and I'm sorry to give you the microphone back again, but we were talking in the A&P earlier in a sidebar conversation about the fact that the big companies are finally leaning toward instead of away from, because they were all going to influencers and they were all going to this bullshit and that stuff. And here all of a sudden it's gone exactly the opposite direction at the very top. And they're realizing their wealth is in the relationships from the very top. And this is beautiful because of you guys. You guys have kept that alive, and I can't thank you enough. And Robert, Josh Wegel, I'll never forget, I called you a year ago and I said, tell me about this guy. And you said, one thing I know about Josh Wegel is he's got my back. And I love the guy because the water gets deep. He doesn't blink. He jumps in the water and let's swim our way out of here. And that's kind of what you guys are doing right now. And my hat's off to you and all of you people that have had to reinvent yourself, because it's no fun. It's scary, but you jumped right back on the horse. You didn't blink, and you're leading with your feet, like Garrett said. And I love that.
Well, when I first met Garrett and I wasn't aware of A&P at all. You know what I mean? And it was interesting because I Garrett and I think Tom, you guys are so wonderful and you're incredible wives. I just love them, and you guys treated me so, because I was like, I learned in this industry from someone that sort of like isolated me. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he not only through his ego edging God out, I not only drank the Kool-Aid, but he showed me how to make the Kool-Aid, right? So to have outsiders to reach out to me and said, hey, you know what? We all love each other. We'd like to have you come and check us out. And I was like, who are these guys? And since I met both of you and been at A&P, I need to make a better commitment to A&P, and it's just man, you guys treated me like family, and ever since then it's like the warm heart messages that you sent me and my family, and it's like you guys are really walk the talk. You just really walk the talk, and it really makes me understand too that sometimes I just be honestly I'm very competitive on myself. And so this whole 39-year career, I'm always trying to beat the records that I've done before. And only by the grace of God, I've done it. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm doing things of isolating my family, right? But every time Tom reaches out to me and asks me to do this, there's never a thought in my mind that I shouldn't share this on all my social medias. I mean, immediately. And that's one of the things that I say that people, you can tell people who you are, or you can show them who you are. And it still blows my mind that there's people out there that are part of anything. But if you went to their social media, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know, so if people wanted to know what my beliefs are and who I love and who I hang around, so when I first, met Ron and he started going off on me and all this stuff, and I'm going like, everyone needs to know this stuff. Everyone needs to know this, just like I promoted Tom. I said, Ron, Tom, you got to reach out to Ron. And Ron's going, yeah. And I go, BS. I'm setting up a podcast. I'm promoting it to the world. I'm going to get you on a podcast, and then I'm going to share it to the world. And, that's what you're supposed to do. It's not that I would get any organization or make any money off Ron. I was getting people I even did what was it called? Raise some funds for Ron.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and people started donating money, and Ron's going like, "What the hell is this? This is."
Ron and I think we're clickbait for you.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I went to Eric Worre with Denise one time and paid him $5,000 and said, we want to retire and tiptoe out of network marketing. And we go and pay the $5,000. And he sat down with us and said, you aren't going anywhere. You love this profession. There's just a couple things you don't like. Define what you don't like and hire somebody to do that job and retire into your business. And I did that with Alcoholics Anonymous, my other passion, and my network marketing business. And now I'm at and with contact mapping. And now I am at the top of the mountain in all three of those things. And it is on easy street because I got rid of all the bad stuff that I didn't like doing. So it doesn't feel like work. And I see you guys nodding because you thought of it before me and didn't tell me. But now I'm a happy camper. So thank you. And
I learned through your example.
I was going to charge you $5,000. Yeah,
so I heard Tom's retiring, and I'm going like he can't do anything else.
Yeah, no doubt.
Tom, I do want to go back to a point that you made, and I will say it has been a blessing, and thank you for bringing it up. But being president of the Association of Network Marketing Professions, it is an honor to serve our profession, and we don't get paid for doing it. I mean, it costs us. Sylvia and I pay out of our own pocket $10,000 to $30,000 a year to support the shortfall in the association, or all the time we donate. But also being now the co-editor-in-chief of Business for Home and traveling around and speaking at DSU, Direct Selling University, and Direct Selling News and Social Selling News, it's been a really incredible few years being a CEO of a company that's doing over $100 million a year and president. Hanging out with companies that are doing $1 billion in sales. Last week I was with the owner that's got nearly $1 billion in income that they made from our professional investments. God. And I will say some of the things that the shift is. Number one, Tom just said it, that leadership takes time to develop. And if you look at affiliate marketing, it has a transactional nature because it's one-time income.
Yeah.
Our business is ongoing income, which means leverage. In other words, you have the ability to earn through levels or of layers of your business. And that does take some time to develop that out. But ultimately, if you want to create a legacy, you need to have a complement that pays through generations of leadership, which is exactly what like a Herbalife does and Uskin does and Amway does. So you need comp plans that honor all three of those things, the offer and promise of all three. And there was a conversation for a while where companies were saying, we got to shallow out comp plans. In other words, not pay so low, pay less. In other words, shallow that out. And I will tell you that is changing. Peter Griscom spoke at the last Association of Network Marketing Professionals, and he said, there's more money for companies to put into comp plans as they have greater efficiencies with AI, as they understand, their supply chain better, that they can reduce their technology overheads, where they can pour more money to be more relevant with the income that's being paid. Gord Hester, I'm sure this is not saying anything that's not covered by confidentiality, at the A&P this morning said that he loved Heather Chastain's new report. He said one of the best reports he's ever read on direct selling. But the thing he said that people are looking for is they're looking for income. People are looking for additional income. And what's different is they're not defining what that looks like, just it's additional. Is it one-time income, ongoing income, leveraged income, or legacy income? But it's a form of income. What is it that you're looking for? And that is what we are offering people. And that's what companies are leaning into, this piece of it, that offer and promise that we're making, but also staying relevant. This CEO, I'm not going to say their name, said, as a CEO, it never gets old changing someone's life. Why? Because I asked him the question, why do you keep doing this? I mean, in my mind, I would stop. And he goes, it never gets old changing someone's life for the positive.
Wow.
And I made a comment. I said, yeah, if you forget where you've come from, you're on your way back. And he said, you got to be careful with that. He said, with a CEO, he said, with me, he said, sometimes I had to go and volunteer, this is the CEO speaking, for 5 years. Because as a CEO, I lived in a bubble. My family treated me a certain way. The C-suite treated me a certain way. The public treated me a certain way. And my income affords me certain luxuries. So in order for me to really know what's going on, I had to choose to volunteer for 5 years to really know what's going on in the world. And he said, since then, I choose 2 to 3 times a week to teach Bible study to 12 to 14-year-olds. And if you want to be humbled, he goes, that'll keep you humble. And I thought it was so real that if we don't stay in the trenches, as Tom Chenault says, that we got to be careful. We're not talking about yesterday's press clippings. When a church is dying, when all the testimonies are from 5 years ago, as opposed to, last week. And Amen. Tom is right on. It's why I love this show. We talking to people who are in the trenches, really building, trying to make a difference, and just getting that blend. I'm very excited for what the future is going to look like. And I believe that there are companies that are going to lean into this, and you're going to see a revival like Tom has just talked about. And I'm very optimistic, and I'm looking forward to the association's next event. We're going to have a 6-figure summit so that those towns that are aging out, that they're retold. We're going to have where you can see one to be one. You're going to see over 50 speakers that you can emulate, and opportunities for us to get together. Tom, I'm so grateful for you inviting me to be on the board of the Association of Network Marketing Professionals. And I would not be here as part of this if it weren't for you. My son would not be alive, Philip, who you told us we're killing one under our roof, and his friends are either dead or in jail. And it was people along the way that are difference makers. And I'm very grateful for that. And that's part of our profession. I met my wife through it. I met you through it. My whole family lives in Ireland. My family is this network marketing profession. And I could not be prouder to be on this call, to be associated with you, and to get to do what we get to do together. It is a privilege, an honor.
Well, the beauty of this thing is every day is take your children to work day. And you get to do this. You get to do this. You get to be with your
Adrian,
who became the boss. I work for him now.
Sit back down so your head is in the screen.
It's unbelievable. No, I'm going to get all you guys. You guys are all going to get this shirt right here. And it says BLTS, like a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. But it really is a movement, because what the essence of this business is, and why they followed Robert Hollis everywhere he's ever gone, Garrett everywhere he's ever gone, Ron Henley everywhere he's ever gone, is because they knew they belonged in your tribe. They knew you loved them. They knew they could trust you, and they knew they were safe with you. And those 4 components right there changed the price of poker at a level that is unbelievable. And you guys emulate that. And we are the ones that are proud to stay here, Adrian. We are the ones that are proud to know you. We are proud to know you. We are proud to be a part of your life. Denise and I and Adrian and Callie and the 93 grandkids we've got. God bless you. I'd be homeless. I guarantee you. So thank you guys very much. And we got to get out of here. And it was a hell of a show. Everybody gets 1 minute to say goodbye. So a 1 minute Garrett McGrath. We'll have him go last. So You go ahead, Robert Hollis. Then we'll put the quality in the middle, and then we'll come back with Garrett.
All I want to say is thank you, Tom. Thank you, Garrett and Ron. I just have to tell everyone out there that, you know what, you count. Whether you believe this or not, we love you. We'd love to show you exactly what you have within you to create that dream that you've always wanted to live. You have it within you. We're here to help you. I'm giving you permission to be fulfilled, happy, and loved.
That is beautiful. I want to tell you one more thing before I go to Ron Henley. Do not buy an ANMP convention ticket today, because we're going to put a special up. I heard it's not official, and I'm going to get killed by Sylvia and Garrett right now. You guys, I just
he finally found a way to get himself fired from the board.
Yeah, I'm promoting the Tom non-closing seminar tomorrow.
We need the money, but not that much. Please, please, please go to you, Ron Henley.
Just if you didn't watch this live, watch it again and again and again, because there's so many amazing points and stories and insights are shared. You guys are incredible people, and I am honored to be associated with you, to be friends with you. And man, if you don't feel the love just from this broadcast alone from these guys, you need to recheck your heart, because it's there. All the big leaders in this industry, in this profession, they love people. People are always first. The people who put other things first never last. So if they've been around, somebody's been around for a long time, there's reasons, there's clues, and it's because they love people.
Yep.
So thank you guys for an incredible show. Let me be a part of it. And I love you all with everything in me.
That's beautiful. And Sylvia McGrath, who made the man, Garrett. I worked with Garrett and Sylvia one time, and somebody said, what's the best thing about him? I said, you get 48 hours a day of effort. Those two never sleep. And then they threw in Liam. So that's unbelievable. They just are whirling dervishes, and you wonder how they can do all the things they're doing. It's because they are a team, and they work together. They love together. They pray together. They are together. And thank you, Garrett, for coming on and close us out of here.
And Tom, it's a privilege. We got to travel together, and I mean this. Ron, love you, brother. You are such a incredible spirit. When you put God first and you put, people to follow faithfully along with that, you can make magic happen. And Robert, it's great to be on here together with you, and congratulations of all that you and Josh and your team have done together. Adrian, you know how much we love you. I just think the world of you and Denise and Dominic and your whole family, as Tom knows. And Tom was talking about t-shirts. It's funny, when Tom and I worked together, we had a team together called Team in Spirit.
Yep.
And in spirit means to breathe life, spirit, and passion into another person. And it said, Team in Spirit. It said, inspire, lead by example. You are far more powerful than you believe. And I think it's a great message for all of us, for us to realize. And I do want to say, like Tom said, and everyone said, Merry Christmas to you and all of your families. The best of the holiday season to you. That's 2026. Let's be at our best year ever, but be the best year ever because we just lead with love unconditionally. That's
all of you go to the internet right now and pull up the Jingle Bells rendition by the band Cheap Trick, because you will see Michael Weininger on the thing playing his guitar when he was like 21. And I don't know if they ever did Jingle Bells, but he's on here. I want to shout out to him because I know he's going to be a sponsor of the ANMP next year with his company. And that's very, very nice. Congratulations, Michael. Love you all with all of my heart. Have a great, 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 great day. Thank you.
God bless you all. Thank you very much. Cheers, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.
Love you guys.